Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Inside Lowell Daily Pulse, the Friday, July 11th edition of the Daily Pulse. I'm your host, Teddy Panos, coming in from the Well Point Studios here in downtown Lowell, bringing you the show that keeps its finger on the pulse of Lowell and the world around it. And for the last 3 days, Lowell and the world around it have intertwined into a fireworks show of positivity. I can't believe that this negative ninny that I am feeling so positive about the outlook for our city. But we're going to talk more about it today. We've been talking about it since Wednesday and yesterday. If you watch the Pulse, we got even more reasons for you to be optimistic today, despite the fact that
Despite what?
my guests on today's Daily Pulse podcast, Big Fun Friday. So we've got the Pod Squad in the house. To your left, Mike Batchagalupo, a.k.a. Batch. To your right, Michaela Hondras McCarthy, a.k.a. The Hyphen.
I can't believe you buried the lead already.
What's the lead?
That he bought a hybrid.
Yes, I did. That's how positive I am. That's how much my vision is now global,
Wow.
as opposed to local. I've bought a hybrid
I never
automobile.
thought I'd see it.
So-
I'm not going to get it till August, by the way. I guess Toyota RAV4s, Toyotas
Yeah.
in general,
That's
but
a good
RAV4s
car, yeah.
are in such demand.
It's not white,
that
is it?
You can't. No, I got so. I would have looked at a white one. If white with black trim, I would have liked.
White
Men
cars.
don't like white cars, huh?
No, white cars are for women. So are RAV4s. But
They're
I'll
also
leave-
racist.
Those white cars are too entitled. They take up 2 spots.
Exactly. They think they can park in 2 spots instead of just one.
So how does your car identify? As electric or gas?
Mine will identify as gas.
It
Okay.
is still a gas car.
Oh, all right.
It is, but
I just want to know what pronoun to use for your car.
But you know what the funniest thing was? The salesman who sold it to me, wicked wokester.
Oh, really?
Wicked wokester.
You know who
He's originally from Ohio. He's telling us this life story, Riley and I, and he's telling us all this. Because you can't just go shop for a car and leave in an hour. It becomes like a 5-hour ordeal.
That's why you should get like Tesla. You just click a button,
That's true. They would show up at
or
my house.
or the
I would
Rivians.
buy I would actually buy a Tesla. If I were to buy an electric car, it would be a Tesla. But I'm afraid some government entity would hijack it, tell the computer to drive off.
That's
the
valid.
Bourne Bridge or something and kill me.
That's
They are
valid.
really well engineered.
That is valid.
Crazy
It can
how-
do that. It can do that.
But here's this salesman. They tell you, don't talk politics in business, right? I'm trying to buy a car from you. I want to give you. You're going to get a commission on that car.
Wait, he started talking politics. In
He
his sales
did.
pitch? Oh
So,
my God.
because I asked, he told me how he lived in Taiwan for 11 years. He was originally from Ohio, and I'm like, oh, what brought you to Taiwan? Business? He goes, no, my wife's Taiwanese, so we moved there for 11 years, and then
That's
her
cool.
job changed, and they moved back, and I'm like, and you came to Boston instead of going back home? What brought you here? He goes, my family members all love Trump, and I couldn't do it anymore. He says to me. And then as we're talking about the benefits of a hybrid versus the gas version of the RAV4, he said to me, and it goes, just this morning, the Iranians said they're going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, and you know what that's going to do to gas prices, so you'll save even more money.
Well, he's right.
And then after we made the deal, he goes and he talks to his GM. You know that little dance they do? Let me see if I can get this approved with
Yeah,
my GM.
it's such a crazy system.
Little
It
does he
really-
know, the GM is a Greek guy who's good friends with my cousin, who was a car salesman for 30 years.
Oh.
He arranged all this, and he comes back, gives me the deal, and he goes, and just so you know, it just moved on the news that the Strait of Hormuz is closing, and Riley's just like, look at me, don't say an effing word.
I know. Oh, yeah.
But
You're
I,
like,
shut
just
up.
get the-
I didn't say anything. I was at it was a
Wow.
transaction. But I'm like, why is this moron telling me that he basically hates Trump? He hates his own family. He left his own family because they're all Trumpers.
It's probably all bullshit anyways. He's probably got a pickup truck and a Trump.
Oh, no. He drives a completely like a Toyota. They have a Corolla has like a little kind of cross thing.
God.
Oh, is it fully electric?
It's called a Toyota Cross. I think that. I don't know if it's electric. Good question. We actually test drove
The
it,
cross-dresser.
but it was too small. It doesn't know doesn't know if it's an SUV or a car.
Yeah.
It's transitioning depending on how you want to use it.
You know what? That'd be a great idea, is to create a car, the Wokester, and what features and what would it have?
Would it have AM, FM, or would it have like 70 frequencies on its radio?
You guys really get off on like.
We really do.
It's
Oh, yeah, we do.
interesting. It says more about you than it does about.
It does.
Yeah.
But we had to start off silly because I'm going to actually get kind of serious.
Okay.
And I'm going to get accused of being a cheerleader likely today as well. But
Oh, we
whoa,
got the
where's the
pom-poms.
pom-poms?
There's the
Bring 'em
pom-poms.
up.
the pom-poms are hiding in there. But after what I saw the last 2 days, our city is awesome. And we've always thought Lowell was awesome, but we always, Batch and I, we make
Yeah.
a living off making fun of the city's
Yeah,
warts
yeah,
and
yeah.
whatnot.
And that's
But I'm going to tell you, we didn't. I guess we kind of lucked into ending up on the international stage, but we earned our place there, and we have leadership everywhere in the city that I also want to talk about, be it City Hall, UMass Lowell, and other places.
they showed up and
We're
did
better
their
than
thing.
Cambridge. I'm telling you,
love that.
I'm not sure Cambridge could have pulled it off as well as Lowell did, or Boston, or any other place. So we're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about meeting minutes, which apparently are a big deal all of a sudden. Who knew that government corruption is now centered on whether you identify the proper names in a roll call?
I know.
I don't know.
Spelling and punctuation. Those are the core of corruption.
We may talk a little bit about cement versus asphalt and the environmental
Really?
the
Oh, yeah.
environmental advantages of them as our most environmentally friendly neighborhood, and of course our richest neighborhood apparently wants to kill the environment so that they can have nice sidewalks. Michaela's been doing a deep dive into the Markley Group. You
The
got
data
lots to
center,
share there.
yeah.
The data center.
Which kind of links into the front runner city stuff and all the link stuff. So it's all connected.
Lowell and the world around it.
Yeah.
Plus, we will end as we always do on a Pod Squad Friday with a Honduras hug.
Yes.
All right, we're going to get to all of it in a quick second. Let's just thank our Daily Pulse sponsors quickly. Ray Booten, licensed realtor in Mass and New Hampshire, certified appraiser in both of those states as well. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, a business, or a commercial property, Ray Booten's the one you need to talk to, and you can find him easily enough online. realestaterayBooten.com. That's realestaterayBooten.com. Thanks as well to our friends at WellPoint. WellPoint is the only health plan offering healthcare benefits exclusively to Massachusetts GIC members at WellPoint. Your whole health is their whole point. Thank you to WellPoint. Thanks to Ray. We got some other sponsors to thank as well. All right, before we get rolling, Batch, what's your hard stop time that you have to leave? Because we tend to go long, and we got a lot to cover. So what time do you need to leave here?
10:35.
All right, so we got
We got an
56
hour. We got
minutes.
56 minutes.
56 minutes. All right.
We'll have to talk about the Epstein stuff like at another time.
The incredible disappearing files.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another time we'll talk
Bummer.
about it.
Bummer. All right. I want to get, but I talked with Bill Samaras Wednesday. I did a Thriving Thursday podcast yesterday. I've shared a lot of my frontrunner city thoughts. I want to hear from you guys. Do you get it now?
Oh, yeah.
Did you? I got a sense that you got it beforehand, actually, Batch, how big of a deal it was, which is great because, most of our city didn't get it until
visionary.
yesterday. You are
Batch is you
He is a
are.
visionary, yes.
He has like big picture thinking and practical application thinking.
Well,
Some men
thank
see
you.
things as they are and ask why. Batch dreams things that never were and asks why not.
I love this positivity. I love it.
I will say this whole thing takes me back to when I was a kid, right? I don't know how old I was. Probably like 6 years old, 7 years old.
What 6-year-old Badge?
Living in, Lowell where everything was boarded up. The 70s were not a good time in Lowell.
You were 6 in the 70s.
Yeah. Wow. And well, I was also other ages in the 70s as well. But
That's how time works. That's how time works.
But I remember hearing about the Lowell National Park, and I'm like, what are they doing? There's going to be this and that. Like, there was an excitement when that Lowell Sun article came out, and we knew about it before, but like when that came out, there was like this positivity, like what's going to happen. You actually felt like where you lived wasn't going to be a shithole for the rest of your life.
Oh, that's nice.
And we've done well. I mean, we've had our ups and downs, but like when you think about this is bigger than that. This isn't some federal dollars that are in a narrow thing to do this or that. This is a big pot of money to do stuff that's going to help the city, and it's not helping the city. How do I put this? We're building the city. This will build the city in a way that it can continue to thrive and take care of the less fortunate. But it's not like we're not just building like homeless shelters. This is the potential to do things that generate income and improve the quality of life of the city. And
we're not building and we're not expanding the poverty industrial complex, but we're doing something that will support the existing poverty industrial complex, I think, without damaging it.
Right. It's going to be this. What's that whole tide rising? Blah, blah, blah.
Rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, you know.
Positivity. Look at Mick.
I love it.
The leadership has been great, right? But I got to say, like, man, we need 2 more years of Rookie. I'm just throwing it out there. He's done an unbelievable job with this, and I don't want it.
So you want to laugh? This international delegation, I'm not sure they grasp how Lowell's government works. I think they think that Dan Rourke and Tom Golden are going to be there like forever.
Yeah, no.
And you know, Tippo's at least got a contract.
He'll be there for a while.
So he, you know, unless, you know, the tide turns and people say, yeah, well, we want our own person to control all this international investment and, you know, maybe, you know, build a pavilion up at Shed Park or something.
Oh, but, I see where you're going with that.
But you know, these folks think that, you know, Dan Rourke's going to be there next year and the year after, and while he'll be on the council, it's not a guarantee that he's going to be the mayor.
That's true.
I don't think they fully grasp yet that the mayor is a somewhat ceremonial position, because it was Dan Rourke who went and spoke to them last September and really got this you know, ball steamrolling.
But it used to be ceremonial, but Rourke, he took this position and he's kept a group of people with a shared vision in line in terms of the council, and he's also allowed for some, you know, discourse to be heard. He's managing the meetings, but like this stuff that he's doing, like no mayor has really taken this position and done this. Like
it's leadership.
He raised the bar.
It's international,
and he's not my cousin.
It's an international press.
So
let's just hear. None of us are related to him here.
And it's not.
I did coach him in basketball though once.
Did you really?
Yeah, back in the
that's so
summer
funny.
league. But he sucked as a basketball player. He's a hell of a mayor.
He's better as a mayor.
But even the rest of the council has done, like, they've been really in line with this. They recognize what this is, and I think and they're asking the right questions.
We have a great city council. Like we have a really great city council.
I've had a front row seat the last 2 days to see this, and I'm going to talk about that. Yeah. But you know, please keep going, because I'm glad you get it back.
Yeah,
Mick, what's your thoughts after these last 3 days?
I mean, I'm really excited. I've heard a little bit about. I'm excited to hear more about what your experience was. But what it seems like to me is like planned, big scale development in a way that is tying things to, it's not just like build, but it's like tying things together in a way that like they complement each other. It's thought out planning. We've like the city planners have been great, but it's like now we have all this simultaneous investment that's happening together.
You weren't in the room yesterday when this discussion was happening.
No, but that's what it seems like.
Your dad was, though.
Yeah.
Did you talk to him?
He gave me a little download of what happened. I didn't get to talk to him that much.
Because there was a moment where Manager Golden was addressing the room after the UN presentation there, a frontrunner city presentation, and he said, you know, we tend in Lowell to look at one project at a time. Let's do this here, let's do that here, piecemeal. He goes, but now we got to get an overall vision out there and cement it. And by the way, I think they do.
Cemented or asphalt?
No, if they do anything in Belvedere, it'll have to be cemented, not asphalt. But I'm going to show you some more photos. But if you go to InsideLowell.com, I posted all these photos there of proposed developments that the City of Lowell Department of Planning and Development put together. And I'm like, kudos to Giovanni Baez-Rose. That's a woman who, you know, they better figure out a way to keep her, because I can see these frontrunner cities.
Give her what she wants. Give her what she wants.
Hey, listen,
please give her what she wants.
With us. But anyway, I mean, keep
they're building off. They're building off the Lowell Forward Plan too, I'm sure, which talked a lot. So things are happening kind of the way you want them to. It's really exciting. And the one thing my dad did mention was the tie to the train station and having transportation be a hub. And
that's a big deal.
I mean, I've been thinking the transportation. Remember the day I walked to the station in a faster manner than the bus got me there? Yep. To tie transportation together with all of this. The radio station. Yeah, I got the, anyway. To tie the transportation into it is huge. I'm just like, kudos to like everybody involved. Kudos to like Mayor O'Rourke and Tippa and everybody at the city. Like, it's super exciting. Lowell has all the pieces to be like the best city ever.
Do you think that I was thinking that one of the things that's helped us along too is the district representation, and I'll tell you why. So you, instead of having, 7 people that are thinking about getting elected in their neighborhood, right? When you've got all these like independent people from the districts, they can kind of stuff like this. They can make their own decisions. They don't have to worry about because this is a city issue, right? They don't like they have more freedom. I think they're not like if the Belvedere block decided that they didn't think this development was like it should be more centrally located, they could kill it, right? But like. No, but you know what I mean? Like, because they were kind of a block worried about what their neighborhood thought. But now you've got more freedom. Like, these people have more, they can think differently. They can think on their own. I don't know. I kind of feel like it.
They have more, like, rope to run with because they're not so worried about, like, oh, if I say this, will I not get elected or whatever it is.
So I can't help but think that even the old at-large council, most of them elected. They would have gotten this. Yeah. They would grasp this. They might have their own person. They'd prefer their own person that they can control. Deciding how the money is spent, just like the $76 million ARPA funds. Yeah. But this is such a big deal for Lowell, and I think eyes were opened Tuesday night at the council meeting. First, for me, it was and I followed this before anybody in the media was, or I started. Yeah, you were talking about this for a while. But even I was like, it hit me when Reza Pourvaziri was speaking from a podium to the Lowell City Council on Zoom, and to his left was the American flag, the Canadian flag, and the United Nations flag. And I'm like, the UN flag is flying at a Lowell City Council meeting for all intents and purposes. And then I saw them Wednesday. They had lunch at the Athenian, and I got to talk to them a little, and I probably got more time with them than I should have. But then I saw them at the developers meeting where I saw your dad in the mayor's reception room. I saw them at UMass Lowell, and I'm like, this is a bigger deal than any of us imagined. These guys know our city pretty well. They may not know the political system yet, but I trust me, they'll learn it quickly. But they know how to speak to folks. They know, so the most impressive guy to me was this Eduardo Lopez Moreno.
I heard he was amazing.
The dude is brilliant, but he's the one who spoke at the Athenian. They gave me a chance to come up and talk. I think the theme of our thing was immigrant story, my family. I talked about my family. Talked about how the American dream, you buy your house, you open your own business, and how we've been able to keep going for 50 years and give back to the community. And we touched on all that. And then, he came up and he addressed the room afterwards, and he talked about kind of the same themes that I picked up on: Lowell's rich history, its people, its its economic opportunity, all this stuff. Fast forward from Wednesday lunch to Thursday morning in the mayor's reception room, he's speaking to the developers and telling them, what they're looking for so they could help fund and develop projects. And he's talking about return on investment, and he's saying we don't want international developers to come in here. We don't want out of state developers to come in here. We want local developers. He's saying you guys know your city, you guys know your community and what it needs and how to get things done in your community. We want to help you. We don't want to give our money to outsiders. So he's speaking to that crowd, right?
What did Sal say?
Sal was
he in the room?
I don't know if his invitation may have gotten lost in the mail. I'm going to tell you, if Sal was a little less arrogant at that city council meeting and stuck around, I bet you Sal could have gotten the funding necessary to do what he had agreed to do for the city. And I think he blew a chance. By the way, I'll tell you guys a funny story. So Sal's big development out in there in Littleton, The Point. They're reaching out to restaurants to locate there, to relocate there or open a second branch. Did they reach out to you? They reached out to me. At the Athenian Corner restaurant. I politely ignored it, but I'm thinking to myself,
you don't want another one?
I'm thinking to myself, well, if they reached out to the Athenian Corner, they're not going to reach out to the Athenian Corner first. They're going to reach out to chains.
Oh, you think?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, there's a Greek chain around now.
The chains aren't interested in going to Littleton.
They have a good rock gym out there. They have a good rock climbing.
You can start your own chain, Gino Hero.
What is it, Giro Hero?
Yeah.
But anyway, but Napoli blew
MAGA Giros.
MAGA heroes.
Make Giros great again.
Make the hero great. Make America hero again. So this Eduardo Lopez Moreno guy, and then he goes to UMass Lowell. He never mentions the word return on investment. He never talks about economic development. You know what he talks about? He talks about education, information, innovation, research. It was, and I'm like this, and I said to myself, this guy can speak to any crowd. And I'm willing to bet that when he addressed the nonprofit crowd, because they also had a session with the area's nonprofits, he probably talked a lot about diversity, equity, and sustainability.
He's speaking to his audience.
He's speaking to his audience.
That's
and he
intelligent.
knows what they want to hear. Oh, this guy is sharp as a tack.
But it's all true, though. None of it's bullshit.
As long as, and you were there for like all the speeches, so like as long as he's not contradicting, he's not telling one group one thing and another group.
It all ties into the
beautiful.
same theme. Like, basically, we're going to help you guys develop. Your city has the resources already in place that allow us to do this front runner city model. So and we're going to make it happen.
He works for the UN or the World Bank.
He is the World Urban Pavilion co-director. The World Urban Pavilion is another kind of arm of this. Frontrunner cities have a pavilion. It's what they'll call an urban pavilion. And I understand they're actively trying to find a site in Lowell to locate this.
Right. An urban pavilion, meaning like a physical, it's going to look like a pavilion. It's a physical thing where, academia meets with services and all this stuff. And there's also, there could be recreational amenities built in the, I guess in... Sounds like the Smith-Baker Center.
I guess in Richmond Park, Toronto. Oh, no, they need a much bigger facility.
Okay.
They've managed to, they put the pavilion together, but then all around it are amenities. There's shops, there's restaurants, there's like a community center with swimming pool and all this stuff.
You know, it'd be a great area for that.
South Common.
You take those. There's plenty of land over there you could take, right?
Funny you say that, Batch.
But no, like where the Elliott Church is, take all that land, right? And
it's a pavilion. It is a physical pavilion already, kind of.
Kill two birds.
The whole is already in there.
As long as they don't cut down no trees or take any of that green space.
But if you could, like, you could kill two birds with one syringe, and you kind of develop that block,
that was
right?
Good.
The top of Appleton Street there, like this. And it links the whole, by link, I don't mean link, but UMass Lowell link.
And it's close to Gallagher.
You could do a thing over the pedestrian bridge over to Weston Ave, the whole thing.
So that's going to be Gallagher?
That's the graphic I showed yesterday. That is, if you look at
But where is that?
So the bottom left, that's that little brick thing. That's the front of the Gallagher Terminal parking garage.
Oh, and that's the court. Is that the courthouse in the back?
That's the corner where the Commodore, Mr. C's, etc. used to be.
But isn't there a garage there now?
They're building on top. As you can see, they're building either on top or just behind the garage. Everything. So
who's going to own these buildings?
So let's talk about vision, right? Because one of the things when people ask me why you're such a big fan of City Manager John Golden, because I think he had a vision, I thought he had a way to implement, and we're finding out now he has. Yeah. But what did he always talk about? Build vertically. Lowell is kind of landlocked. Lowell doesn't have a lot of land. So why not build up? He said that with the high school when people were throwing these, fake barriers up.
You can't cast any shade on Belvedere.
Right, exactly. But he talked about building up, and then this is it. This is my tower. This is what I was hoping to see in the Hamilton Canal. Look at that, a modern-looking glass steel structure.
Yeah, I mean,
pays a little homage to historic sites, but you could see this anywhere in Boston, on Assembly Row, in Charlestown, anywhere, right?
Don't you think though you got to kind of fix the traffic, like the Lord Overpass thing or whatever it's called now.
So you couldn't do this before the Lord Overpass was done. I finally get the Lord Overpass.
Yeah.
You would not be able. There's other parcels of land there that I think they're going to develop that you could not do with the overpass, what it previously was.
Okay, now you wouldn't have access.
Exactly. And so now I think I get it, and maybe they lucked into it.
No, I remember Mike McGovern talking about it years ago, and he was like, I think they kind of knew that this would be,
developable.
And I think that I was making fun of the Elliott Church, but like where that block up there is ripe for redevelopment, like on top of the Lord Overpass. And I think what you could do, how there's that useless lane in the middle? They should turn that into
The bus lane?
no, it's the
bus
bus
lane.
lane. They should turn it into one of those lanes where like in the morning it's an extra lane, in the afternoon it's an extra lane going the other way.
Would make sense.
For through traffic.
I said that on a podcast.
Oh, you did?
Where are the buses gonna go?
They don't use it anyway.
They don't use it anyway.
We need
They're
a
just gonna
better
go
bus.
where they use
We
it.
need a better. We need a better bus.
We need a trolley to connect from Gallagher Terminal. The original trolley idea.
Murphy killed that.
But can
Bring it back.
Can it be
Bring
brought
it
back?
back.
Can
Bring
the
it back.
trolley be brought back, connecting? Because now it connects from Gallagher Terminal, it connects from Boston to Gallagher Terminal. Hop on the trolley, go down past the big field through Hamilton Canal, down to the Tsongas Center, bang a left, you go past Link.
Yeah.
And you keep going up to UMass Lowell campus. Here's your
too.
public
Did
transportation.
they talk about that?
No,
Specifically?
I have not heard it, but that's a good quote. City Manager Tom Golden's going to join us next week.
Good.
We will talk about
And
it.
you need a
about the
walking.
trolley.
Yes.
They need a walking thing from like, so you can get over to the Western Ave. Like you need a pedestrian bridge, and then like a pedestrian bridge across Thorndike, and then
Did they talk about like?
Western Ave is one of
maybe
the
a
areas
cage,
they're
maybe
looking
a
at.
cage through the common, but like something to get people
Did they talk
walking
about?
or taking the trolley to get downtown.
So back to your South Common idea. Let me put away my tower,
and McNair
and
did
let's
too.
look at this little rendering.
What is that? That's
South
Boston.
Common.
Yeah, that's Boston.
Right, but that's the little grassy area with the oval track. That's South Common. Why can't you build South Common up like this?
Like a bunch of like multi-million-dollar
Some pretty nice
townhomes.
housing,
That'd be nice.
some first floor retail. Maybe put an urban pavilion there. You've got enough land,
Couple
right?
of security robots.
Right off the UMass Lowell could build them, but I mean, this is a vision
That would be nice.
of your city. Some men see things that as they are and ask why. Others dream
I mean, it
things that
doesn't-
never were and ask why not.
It
Why
doesn't.
not?
It
It's
does.
South Common.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to warehouse poor people near a train station because they're not going to work, right? So if you could put like
Oh, Jesus.
develop housing for people going to Boston, working in Boston.
Wouldn't that make sense?
Yeah.
What else could be?
Did they
imagined?
talk about pedestrian and bike mobility, like
They
making
didn't
the city
specifically
more
talk about
walkable
it,
and
but
bikeable?
this being able to get to where you need to go quickly was discussed a lot. Whether it's public transit, improved transit, or
Right.
whatnot, all that's important.
That's South Common.
That's
awesome.
This is Hurd Street.
Was LRTA there?
This is by the way, this is what we're showing on the screen right now is what the Lowell Department of Planning and Development presented to them as potential projects.
they did a
that
good
they
job.
would like to see
They did a
funded.
wonderful
I
job,
mean,
yeah.
right? Look, that's the old courthouse on Hurd Street.
Oh, we can't tear that down.
And they also showed what a vision for what the UMass Lowell Inn and Conference Center would become once they're done
really?
using it as a shelter. And then the parking lot in front of it, which would tie in,
Would be
kinda
right
see where
there.
the people
It'd
are
be right
walking.
there, yeah.
Off to the right is the parking lot, to the far right is the ICC, and there's more housing on Hurd Street, and you can kind of see UTEC's little.
That
garden
is so
center
like
there.
they did such a good job.
Vision.
They did such a good job.
Vision.
That's so awesome.
Your Lowell City Administration has this vision that big cities do not gateway cities, big cities.
And now
do
it's
this
money
kind of
coming
crap.
in to do it.
And now you've got billions coming in. One more I want to show you. One more little graphic that was for the presentation. But again, go to InsideLowell.com or go to our Facebook page and you can see all of these. But again, this is developing around the train
Wait,
station.
YMCA? That's a
Drive.
huge-
That's the Hale Street parking garage. But a nice vertical, skinny,
Hale Street
tall
parking.
building.
Yeah,
Hale Street.
There's a lot across from the Y that's
They use it for the LRTA buses once
Yeah.
they gave it away to the national.
Oh, over there? Oh, yeah.
that used
But-
to be a big neighborhood full of houses and stuff, and they tore it down because it was a shithole.
Oh, I
But
didn't
look,
know that.
there's your parking. You can see on the far left of the third photo on the left, the vertical one.
Thorndike.
You see there's
Street.
the little parking garage there where the train station parking is, but there's a tower.
Wouldn't it be nice
going up there?
Wouldn't it be nice to have one of those? So you get that platform there, right? And then if
Yeah.
you did that trolley extension or whatever,
Yep.
you could put one on Merrimack Street and then another one over by the arena. That'd
So
be
you're
great.
opening up the downtown links and like the other
Yeah.
links to the city by having this huge that's so awesome.
It's not a far walk. It's just a scary walk, right? And if
Yes.
You just
or-
need money.
But also, listen, you're in a business suit, right? You're coming to see Draper Lab. You're going to make a presentation. You're a business person. You're going to come in from Boston or wherever. You're going to stop at the Gallagher Terminal. You're not going to walk on a July day or hop a bike for that matter. Let's be serious.
Right.
Will you get on an air-conditioned trolley that looks like an 1800s trolley, but it's got the inside is air-conditioned?
What a beautiful welcome to the city, too.
Right.
And you're tying in with history like that.
Instead of riding the Green Line or Orange
an
Line in
Uber.
Boston, you're riding a subway. A subway in
Electric,
essence,
yeah.
but you've got...
It's like a T.
It's a trolley.
Yeah.
It's visible, and it ties in with Lowell's history. We got to talk to Manager Golden and see if
We
this
need
is
a good
thing.
name for
I
it.
have not heard anything for it yet.
Tippa's trolley.
Tip's trolley. I mean, if you wanted to get, I like the trolley idea, but you could just do like those. It's basically those things they have at the airport. That's all you would need.
Oh, like a tram?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you need like a monorail, and that's not gonna.
No.
I love the trolley. I love the trolley idea.
I know, but like they're not super comfortable.
Is Batch going to get his jet skis?
Yes.
On the
Out of
well,
this.
so one of the things Eduardo Lopez Moreno talked about is you guys have the water, you have the river. Goes across the world. Water is life, and he's talking about it. And he's talking. By the way, you know what the other?
Can he help us buy it back from an L? Can we get that part of the deal?
I hope so.
Hey,
Do you know what the other front-runner cities are? So we know about Toronto, right?
you said Lisbon.
They're working on one in Lisbon, Portugal.
That's a big
They're
city.
working on one in Mexico, in Mr. Moreno's hometown.
Where's he from?
I think he said the name of it, and I forget what it was. And they're also working in one in Oman. But like the Lowell delegation went to Toronto to see a presentation about what front-runner cities are. And when Mayor Rourke went to the the Urban Economy Forum in Toronto, that's what they envision Lowell being. They will hold those international conferences in Lowell to show it off, the transport.
So they'll need a hotel, Teddy.
Teddy,
To
you
other
need a hotel?
American
You're gonna need a hotel.
Well, let's just say I had their ear for a few minutes. And we talked a little bit about hotels.
That's
The
awesome.
Tower of Teddy.
Not just Lowell will need multiple hotels, folks. I did tell them, I said, I feel kind of vindicated because people have been telling me for years, you're crazy. You know, Lowell can't sustain a hotel. It won't. And I've said, yes, it can. Yes, it can.
You were ready.
Yes, it can. And I said this long before Link, and I said this long before Front-Runner City. With Link and Front-Runner City, Lowell will need 250 to 350 hotel rooms minimum. I'm thoroughly convinced of that. And it vindicated kind of my faith in the city.
Well,
to some degree.
especially you're putting such an emphasis on the train and people coming here from Boston. Like people will need a place to
that
stay.
trolley would go right down Market Street or Dutton Street, but cross over.
And
at
economic
Market.
development for like all the restaurants downtown. Like that's so. This is great. Did they have someone from LRTA in the room?
They might have been in the non-profit. I think they were. I think they did a tour of the LRT. They toured. They were driving around in a bus all day. It was an electric bus, by the way.
Nuh-uh.
You'd be happy to know. Yep.
Was it really?
I think they took them around in one of the LRTA's new electric buses.
Oh, the hybrid.
The hybrid. The ones that say they're
that's-
electric, but they're really
Wait, so they got taken around in a LRTA bus?
Yes.
I love this.
Yes. The city rented an LRTA bus and bounced them around from site to site. They went to a million places. They were staying at the Stonehenge. I found that out
That's good though.
out in Tingsboro.
Close to Lowell.
But
They went by the river. They went over the bridge. Oh, the bridge is going to be
yeah,
part.
the new bridge, or maybe
The
they,
new
if the New York Bridge was built, they could have that little podium. They could stand out and admire the Merrimack from a distance.
They could.
But
The jumping platforms.
I
They're
want to say
rest
one more
stops.
thing here, and I'm going to get accused of being a cheerleader, but I touched on a little bit earlier. Our city manager, our mayor, our city council, and the entire administration. Then you add Julie Chen. Julie Chen made a presentation yesterday. I've seen Julie Chen make a ton of presentations.
She's pretty impressive.
She's great.
She hit it out of the park, to the part where Eduardo Lopez Moreno, I guess, leaned over to Mayor Rourke at one point and said, do you think these people will want to collaborate with them?
That's awesome.
At which point Rourke says, why don't you ask him? So when Eduardo got up to address the
Great
room,
answer,
he's
too.
like, we'd love to partner with you guys. And Marty Meehan's like, done. And then he listed a list of 4 ideas. He goes, I have 4 ideas that I have. Obviously, he had them beforehand. As I told you, Moreno's a sharp cookie. But he lays them out, and he's on number 3. And Marty Meehan's like, yes to all 4. and then somebody, I don't remember if it was Meehan or Tom Golden, says, put a 5th one in there. They'll say yes to that as well. But
So that's a good attitude of wanting to partner and being enthusiastic.
so this guy
That's
explained
wonderful.
they have a working relationship with MIT and with Harvard.
Wait, who does?
The Frontrunner City Group, the Urban Economy Forum,
Oh,
and the
interesting.
Pavilion. The research and stuff is done with MIT and with Harvard, and a lot of these models that they build are done through research at these universities. And he said, we want to partner with you guys. And it doesn't mean that those other entities may not be involved. But the UMass Lowell presentation that Julie Chen gave, and then Marty Meehan kind of jumped in at the end, it was so impressive that these people said, they may not have said fuck MIT and Harvard,
Well, they wanted to.
but they're like, we don't necessarily need them. We got everything we need
Right.
at UMass Lowell, and especially with Link coming in, because of course Julie Chen's talking about the robotics, the bio engineering, all this stuff, the AI, everything that's coming, the space research with the NASA, all of it is part of Link, which is going to be part of Lowell.
Right, and if they work with UMass Lowell, they actually get, instead of Harvard or MIT, they actually get to work with students from the U.S.
It seems like they really want to take what's already here and like with the developers that are already local, with the people that already know. So it's like, it is nice to see that they want to
Bingo. They
capitalize
said
on the people that
all
are
the right words, and everything was, local development, local investment, use local nonprofits, everything was local.
And you mentioned Gitcher took them to the Vogue.
Yeah, so they were, I guess they were a little late coming to the developers meeting in the mayor's reception room, and they went because they were at Stonehenge. They were right down the street from.
Oh yeah, they're right there anyway, right?
So they went to see Eric Gitcher. Councilor Eric Gitcher gave them a presentation of the Lowell Youth Leadership Program and kind of an example of what they do, and.
Oh yeah, because they're in the middle of their programming right now.
Exactly.
Oh, that was
and
fun.
Mayor Rourke said to me, Eric was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I mean that.
He's like, because Eric's smart. Eric can talk, and I guess,
Very smart.
But I guess he put on this presentation about the Lowell Youth Leadership Program and what the collaboration, all that, and like these international guys, Moreno and Espili and Moramedi, and what they were, three Persians and a Mexican. It sounds like the start of a joke, right? But they were, they were like, wow, they were impressed with our city. And a big part of that is because our city leaders, the electeds and the appointeds and the university, I'm thinking Michelle Wu couldn't pull this off in Boston. She couldn't have done better. I don't think she could have.
I think it's not to compare, but it's just to be like, they did such a wonderful job. Like they did such a great job. That's so.
They belonged. Our leader that we make fun of every Friday here, and we used to do on the radio and whatnot, we tease them because we love them, and we pick on them for all the little idiosyncrasies we all have, and that
but we want to see them shine. Like we want to see them succeed. And they did a great.
They did a great job. Is it shone brightly?
Yeah,
they shined brightly, or they shone bright. I was like. These are, this is the kid I coached in basketball at McPherson's at Summer League. The guy we make fun of, he was still the most difficult person to understand of all the speakers, even with the Persians and the Mexican dude.
He has his own accent.
We're going to need, those UN ear things to understand what the mayor's saying. But, him and Tom Gold, I'm telling you, it's as highly as I thought of him before. You should have seen him.
That's wonderful.
Working these rooms, working these people. You could see the affection of these people. Obviously, they've dealt more with Dan Rourke and whatever and Tom Golden. But John Dakota, Corey Belanger. I saw Sokari Chow, Paul Ratayem. I heard about the Eric Gitcher thing. All the councils at one point or another went somewhere. And we showed that we're not a gateway city. Sometimes Lowell we're a mid-sized city, but we act like Drake.
Yeah.
We didn't act like Drake. We acted like an international city. These last 3 days, our leaders of our key governmental institutions in UMass Lowell, they belong. It hit me.
That's so important.
They belong on this stage. I'm like, what are they going to think when they get to Lowell and whatnot? They're probably more enamored with the idea now than they were before.
Well, it does show well. Like, do you ever watch? I remember when they were making movies in Lowell kind of frequently. You'd see it on what was that, the early around 2010, right? And you'd see Lowell on film, and you're like, damn, like it's when
a beautiful city. It is a beautiful city.
It is, and when you hear all the time, I think you forget about how it does. And we take the diversity for granted sometimes. Like, where else can you go? And like the food, the culture, all that stuff, and the leadership really does reflect that right now. I mean, it's kind of I hate to use the cliche, but there's a lot to like about Lowell. And
We're the Venice. We're the Venice of the United States. We have the canals. We have the river. We have the UMass Lowell.
So you had a group that's one of the arms of the United Nations. United Nations. What is it? 200 countries across the world gathered, coming to Lowell and to a place where 70 different languages are spoken. They got, besides coming to a Greek restaurant, they went to China Star. I know they went to Cobblestones last night, but they were getting meals catered by all these different international entities.
Yeah.
They were seeing the people. They were like, Lowell is a mini United Nations if you think about it. So we do belong.
We do belong.
We do belong in the stage. And by the way, the numbers are growing.
What do you mean?
What we thought was 1 billion to 2 billion.
Oh, in investment.
Went from 2 to 3 billion. I heard the number 4 yesterday.
So what
out of
is
the UMass Lowell campus?
So what does the number represent? Is it the loans that they're giving to developers, or is it the investment that they're making? And then,
as best I can figure it, the local developers who either have projects existing already or are, maybe willing to take on one of these or whatever, would come up with a proposal for how to make it sustainable. And when I say sustainable, we're not just talking about green energy. We're talking about economic. How will this pay for itself? How will it benefit the people? Will it, because again, as he told the development
what are the
group,
benefits, the social benefits?
If you just build housing, what are you going to do with the people living in that housing?
Right.
You need to create economic opportunity for these people. You need to create amenities for these people. So he wants to see proposals
Jobs
that meet some of their criteria about, they're economically feasible, but also they create a better quality of life. He kept saying quality of life over and over again. So you come up with this proposal, and there are grants, there's funding, and there is very low interest loans.
Which makes a huge difference.
Anybody who's trying to do a project now, construction loans are halting everything, right?
Right.
But I think we're talking about 2, 3, 4% loans.
as opposed to
Half of
5,
what,
6.
as opposed to
as opposed to 8, 9, 10 for smaller developers. 5 or 6 maybe for a big time developer, but Link was supposed to break ground, I think, in March. They haven't because of those interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
and because they keep changing and keep going up.
Yeah, everything keeps going up. So now you tell me that you can give me a loan, call it a $10 million loan or a $100 million loan at, let's middle it, 3% instead of 8 or 9%. Do you know how much of a return of an investment that gives a developer? You're nuts not to jump in. That's why I'm thinking if Lapoli hears this stuff, he should be kicking himself. Or maybe he's just glad to be out of Lowell, but he could have gotten done what he promised to do had he just kind of maybe shown a little bit more of a willingness to work. Yeah. And maybe he could have built his tower out at Thorndike Street as well, although now some California entity owns that. But
you're basically reducing your interest rate. The cost of building by
your expense,
financing costs by like 60 to 70%.
That makes an insane.
You're a good numbers guy.
And those are the margins. Like that's where your profit comes from, right? Or your not profit, but profit and like the feasibility of a project. So
and that's where investors who want to invest their money internationally say, if I can get a 20% rate of return, I'll put my money in a project in Lowell, Massachusetts through these UN people that I trust.
Yep.
As opposed to
right when you have like the backing of such a large and well-funded
the World Bank. And he kind of explained, because so as I mentioned, I'm sitting between Eduardo Moreno and Congresswoman Lori Trahan, and she asked him, where does your funding come from? And he says, the United Nations. He says every nation that's a member of the UN contributes.
They get
money.
funded by other.
So that's free money.
Too.
You're not borrowing. In the United States funds, I believe he said 22% of the UN. Numbers going down a little, but 22%. Albeit, I bet some of those costs are maintenance of effort costs for the UN building in New York. I wanted to ask him that question, but I stopped being a wise ass. But he goes,
the basement floods there all the time.
In addition, he said there are countries and there are wealthy individuals within these countries who have areas of interest. justice, be it hunger, like a Bill Gates, or sustainability, like some of these other folks are, and they will give extra money that they want earmarked towards specific initiatives and specific projects. So you've got people giving their money to build a better world.
So that's
These
the goal.
guys are now lending it out for, again, 2, 3, 4%, whatever that number is. Somebody's making money, but you're getting $3-4 billion worth of development in Lowell, Massachusetts, not Chicago, not New York. It's like, we're going to be on the international map. There will be global conferences in Lowell. There will be this urban economy forum that Dan Rourke went to in Toronto. They want to hold one in Lowell,
which is
when all is said and done. They want to bring people, like, it won't be done in time for Lisbon, but the other cities that come afterwards, say, Athens or wherever they do it, they want to bring them to Lowell to show them what a front runner city is. And they also want to bring representatives from other American cities here, because let's face it, America's the holy grail of wealth, right? So they're not going to stop at just one,
Now, is it
front runner city. We know this, but Lowell will be the model that all these people will come here to,
they're working,
to witness firsthand.
They're working on other cities currently, right? Are there any
In the United States?
No,
or around the world, right?
Around the world,
Lowell's not the first
Oman,
one.
Lisbon.
So how did
Mexico,
did they have any examples of like how that's going and what they're doing?
Toronto. They keep pointing to Toronto and what it's done to this Richmond Hill area. So go.
Supposed to be.
And Moreno kept saying Google search.
It's pretty impressive.
With Richmond Hill. And take a look at what happened, which I've done, and it's
the pictures are unbelievable. The people that went to Toronto, like, it was pretty impressive.
The councils were like our next resort because we were looking up the whole time.
Now, is it true because there were a lot of counselors in the room that open meeting law complaint was filed?
I was curious who was. Oh, Jesus, you just gave her an idea. Oh my God, that's true. I hope they didn't discuss official business.
Well, there was no minutes taken, so we can't tell.
How did they vote on this?
Did they put it on YouTube? Did they put it on the LTC channel?
Wow! Imagine doing that.
What a nice little segue. We'll talk about some other issues in the city now that we've done enough cheerleading for Front Runner City. Plus, we got to get Batch out of here soon anyway. But thanks again to all of our Inside Lowell Daily Pulse sponsors. Ray Booten, you can find him online, realestaterayBooten.com. Thanks to WellPoint at WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point. Washington Savings Bank, banking that feels like home. Make the switch now to Washington Savings Bank. TMI Properties, quality and value at every price point. Find your perfect space with TMI. Thank you as well to Mahoney Oil, providing warmth and protection of generations of Lowellians since 1925. Greater Lowell Community Foundation, improving the quality of life in Greater Lowell through strategic, impactful philanthropy. Francis E. Preventure Insurance, the agency Greater Lowell is counted on to protect its most valuable assets since 1982. And by the Massachusetts Pirates, bringing all the hard-hitting action and excitement of arena football to the Mill City. Some great ticket offers for the Pirates' final home game, Friday, July 25th. They're on the road tomorrow. Read the preview of a big matchup that could cement, there's that word, or asphalt the Pirates' playoff chances tomorrow night against the Tulsa Oilers. All right. Open meeting violations. I guess the city of Lowell is corrupt.
Yes.
The city of Lowell is corrupt.
Right.
The attorney general ruled in the favor of a plaintiff that was it bribery? Was it money laundering?
No. Was it murder? No.
Kickbacks? Murder? Were they killing their political enemies?
Was it a sex ring? No, what was it?
Was it child? Yeah, was there a pizza shop?
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
What did the Lowell City Council do that proved how corrupt of an entity it is, Badge?
They were bad at taking notes. They forgot to.
They need a better secretary.
A clerk, whatever they call it. But instead of writing down they wrote down say it was 6-0 vote.
Yeah.
They didn't write down the names.
And that warrants a...
Yes.
And they didn't provide...
What was the ruling, like a corruption rule? Like what was the ruling?
No, it's open.
The attorney general say, hey, cut it out. Can you please include this in your meetings? This has been going on for you. There's a one Lowell citizen who doesn't like to give her address.
Yeah. That's a whole other thing.
Which is a whole other issue. But she's been filing open meeting law complaints, and they said, yeah, you're right. You need to record every individual council.
They probably just want to shut her up.
Plus, your executive session meeting minutes need to be more thorough.
Things aren't clear enough.
But here's my thing. If you're concerned about regular meeting minutes, doesn't YouTube run the meetings in its
Yeah,
entirety?
they're all there.
Telecommunication. Like, here's your...
You don't even need meeting
Government
minutes.
is so archaic. Robert's Rules of Orders in many ways are so archaic
Yeah.
that it's like, it's the 21st century. We have AI. Record the effing meeting on your phone and AI will print out a complete transcript
It is.
for you. Or, better yet, just send out the link with the YouTube. Instead of sending out the meeting minutes, send out a link with YouTube.
Yeah, here you go.
Want to see who spoke, who voted, how on an issue? Here's the entire meeting, all 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of it, however long it takes, word for word, verbatim. And you can even see it. You don't even have to read it.
Well, and here's the thing, like we are talking about billions of dollars coming to the city, the council working together, and this person's like, whoa, the open meeting law, the city's corrupt. You're like, it's that, small-minded kind of look at the bigger picture,
So the some men see things as they are and ask
Yeah.
about it. There's another great saying, you can't see the forest through the trees.
That's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good.
There's a
thing.
bunch of Lowellians who can't see the forest through the trees because they
So what
just
was the
need to be
problem?
miserable.
The problem was like the executive session.
Yeah, the executive session, which
Do you get minutes from the
they
executive?
do.
I thought
They
it was
put out,
closed.
they put out minutes after the issue has been settled and whatever, but
Oh, I
they're
see.
saying they're not complete, they're not accurately reflected.
how would
they're
you
not
know
the
that?
votes. You don't.
You wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know that.
Because
But
it's secret.
so here's the thing though. So again, put a freaking phone in there, start recording, put a camera in there, start recording an
Would they
executive
want-
session.
would they want that?
No, the politicians don't want that because they sometimes are candid, which may not play well to some of the people that they're lying to about what they what they really want to do versus what they really did behind
Right.
closed doors. But videotape executive session and then release that in its entirety too. It's the 21st century now. You don't need somebody with a quill and an ink.
It's true.
An ink blotter to
It's a little
to write
absurd.
notes.
It is a little absurd.
It's the 21st
Yeah.
century. Use technology, but then what would we have to complain about? Probably ADA sidewalks.
Now they're complaining. This is great. They're complaining that when somebody goes up to the podium to speak and they ask for their name and address, that it's unconstitutional. And you're like, no, it's not. And like,
Which amendment was it? Was it in the Bill of Rights that you can address
They're saying somehow
a
it's a-
government meeting without stating a name and an address? Is that in one of the first 10 Bill of Rights, or did that come in one of the
I
amendments
think it's
afterwards?
in nowhere. And it's not even classified as.
We're on a shit list now.
I don't care.
We're gonna generate a Facebook post.
It's just dumb. I mean, it's like, first of all, I will say this. I don't think, first of all, it's not unconstitutional. It's been vetted. It's been whatever. You can even read, like, just fucking Google it. And it'll explain everything to you.
Oh, you're wrong, Batch. I read the response to your Facebook comment that you have no idea what you're talking about.
I asked to actually talk to.
Attorney?
I talked to Callie. He loves the Constitution.
Oh, that's a great. Yeah.
He
does.
instead of counting sheeps, he like recites
He
amendments.
reads it, yeah.
But the
It's probably accurate.
The Cali Llama.
right to bear arms. He goes, no, but the idea of like, what are people just gonna walk up and like tell the clerk, this is who I am? No, you gotta say.
Well, I think the reason
It's gotta
for
be in the
doing
minutes
it
anyways.
is so that you know that the person is a constituent and lives in Lowell.
Well, and
Well,
the
it's
argument,
funny that we're complaining about transparency
right? And
in the
they're
executive
then-
session,
but then
you
you-
don't want to be transparent.
because
It's
they're-
like being an
as a private
anonymous
citizen.
Facebook poster.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
hiding behind whatever.
and their
And-
argument is that there's been like people get backlash for what they say.
I'm sorry. Right now, okay, it's only going to be a matter of time before like there's facial recognition on these meetings, and it'll tell you exactly who the person
Correct.
is.
Right.
It'll tell you their whole history.
Correct.
It'll link you to their LinkedIn and Facebook. Like you just don't get anonymity anymore at
and
all.
But if you put yourself in that position, you shouldn't expect it.
It's your choice to go up and speak, isn't
If
it?
somebody
Like,
came up and starts harassing me for the stuff I say on this podcast, okay, I deserve it. You put yourself out there.
Well,
can you tell everybody your name and address? No, get it.
Sure.
Maybe we should start every pod squad by
By-
saying
by-
their name and address.
7.5 North Champion.
No,
But, like,
it's just,
but there is one thing I will give them: the idea that you do the name and district isn't a bad idea. Not having you don't really need to have to give your actual
nearest
read it
side
out.
street.
huh.
Nearest side street.
Just name and district would be fine. But like it's one of these things like here's these things going on in the city,
Or name a
and
district
they're
would
like,
be good.
well,
Yeah.
you know, like
Well, so the argument is that there's people who may, because of, restraining orders or they feel threatened by somebody.
Oh, you know what? That's actually
they don't want to give their name and
that's
address.
it. I'm sorry. That's
so
a good
don't
point.
speak.
That is a good point.
Except here's the thing.
Just say the wrong
Which
address.
what you said. So I can find you.
Yeah, that's right.
Anybody can find anybody. It's the 21st century. If I want to find out where you live, I can find. Just do a Google search. I'll find your relatives. I'll find people you may have associated with, companies you may have worked with. Because when these banks ask these security questions to log on for the first time or whatnot, like which car has been associated with in the past, whatever. All this stuff then gets data mined. It's out there. They can find. Google search Theodore Panagiotopoulos. You will find everything you
I
need
can never
to know
spell
about
your real
me.
name.
And
That's the biggest challenge.
They're acting like the city council meetings are friggin' Rosetta Stone to get your information. It's not like you're.
It's almost like it's the Masons or something. All this secrecy.
Oh yeah, it's
The Freemasons.
But it's the irony of, it's like we need more protection, more
Transparency.
At the same time, they're complaining about the friggin' minutes. It's just that. So I'll be curious.
I think what
to
you're
see.
saying is they're misdirected energy. Maybe.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how they people are already like, oh, Lake hasn't started yet. It's supposed to start. You know what? Just educate yourself a little
It
bit.
will start.
Chill out.
So that's what I'm wondering. What are all these negative ninnies? The people who hate Lowell and don't want to see it succeed because that would mean that they were wrong. What are they going to say
We should be able to more
when all this happens?
We should be building poverty towers with this money. Like we should be,
A 52-story transitional living center.
There you go. That's
A
what they
high rise.
made out of glass.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. No, that's what they'd want. Like they don't. It's very. Well, this is going to increase.
Well, you
Rich
get
Bengals are not a bad idea if you can get them out of the parks, but good luck with the folks who don't want to live in that building.
Clean up the corn. You don't have as many pigeons. That's the way I look at it.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
All right. So, one other thing at the city council meeting this past Tuesday night, before we got to the United Nations flag, there was a big battle over cement versus asphalt sidewalks.
So I'm glad this is coming up because the Sustainability Council did look at, a while back, the use of gray cement, or gray pavement, which is supposed to be a lot better for curbing heat island effects.
Because it's lighter colored, right?
Yeah. So it
than
doesn't
asphalt.
absorb as much heat or reflect
As long as you don't
heat.
stripe it with the Italian colors. Have you heard about that? Like Newton.
God. So I started doing some research on this because somebody said to me, that asphalt is actually more environmentally friendly than cement. And while there's a lot of back and forth, there is now permeable asphalt, which I don't know what the city paves its streets or sidewalks with, but permeable asphalt is not only much cheaper, but it's also more eco-friendly
and it's
than cement. And it's also recyclable. When you tear up an asphalt street, I guess that asphalt gets recycled and used again, whereas the cement, you can't recycle it as easily, or they just kind of toss it. So there's a legitimate debate versus asphalt versus cement being more eco-friendly. But I was laughing that a lot of the speakers who wanted the cement sidewalks down their street, quite frankly, Batch, I guess we should be lucky as Lowell taxpayers should say thank you that they didn't want their sidewalks paved in gold.
That's again.
And heated.
Yeah. Well, that's the biggest cost, is the heat. The heated sidewalks.
Cement is a bargain compared to the gold paved sidewalks and heated.
I'm glad they're having the discussion.
Plus the overtime of doing all those driveways.
Yeah.
DPWs.
But
the plowing.
to the environmentalists out there, you may want to just say, look, the asphalt is prettier and it might last longer, because your environmental argument may not be true. So, as a matter of fact, the data is now switching to say it's actually wrong.
Wait,
there's another
what?
benefit
What?
too.
The data about which one is more sustainable or environmentally friendly
We did a whole
is now
paper.
asphalt.
We did a whole paper on this
How long ago?
a while, maybe 6 months ago.
Oh, well, that's recent. So
here's the other thing.
what did you guys determine?
That we should try to look at gray pavement because they're doing gray.
Gray instead of
They're
asphalt?
doing it in Chelsea. They're doing it in
You mean
Chelsea.
gray asphalt? Or
Gray pavement. Gray pavement.
Pavement concrete?
Can we just throw some dye in the
I don't-
asphalt, make it a lighter color?
That's what I would think. Make it green. No.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. If you have permeable pavement, I think, maybe it's changed, but I think there used to be a weight limit on it. Like It's like the
So
big
you're trying to
trucks.
say I can't walk those sidewalks?
No,
Is that what you're trying to say?
We can't be in the same car. We can't drive your Pilot over your RAV4.
Or hybrid?
Yeah, but no, like if you had, so let's just say you had that kind of pavement, right? It limits the ability of like trucks to go down there. So it's a
bad thing.
It's a quieting thing for your neighborhood.
Yeah, trucks can't take these shortcuts to avoid traffic.
Yeah.
And screw up your neighborhood.
Because my dad's old neighborhood, well, the neighborhood he lived in, had permeable pavement, and so only there's a weight limit on the trucks that could go up it. It's not a bad idea.
Right.
There was also a discussion about when you pave these sidewalks, are you taking trees out? And there was discussion about whether the tree roots cause more of damage on cement versus asphalt. There was a whole discussion going up. I'll be honest with you. I'm like, can we please get to the front runner city stuff? But I did find it fascinating. It was just, again, one of these
So
issues
maybe we should,
where,
revisit
like,
that.
Intelligent people can have reasonable differences, and who's right, who's wrong, I don't know.
So not all street trees cause the root damage. You have to pick the right tree.
Yeah.
Yes.
As we've learned, which is why it's
We have an
important.
arborist
Which is why we
We
should
need
have
a tree committee and an arborist.
Did we hire an
We
arborist?
did not yet.
We have not hired
yet.
an arborist,
We
and we're
should.
still trying to form a tree committee.
We need
aren't
to
we?
figure that out.
Oh, really? A tree committee?
Yeah.
Well, apparently Weston and Sampson that just opened their office, they have a whole
At
consulting.
the Wrist Center for
Yeah.
Sustainability.
Just ask Jane Calvin. She knows all this stuff.
You can, we should make it a practice as a city to consult. Weston and Sampson has apparently a whole. They do it for other cities. I think they're doing it for Hamilton. They have like a arborist. Like you can just tap them as a resource.
No, you're missing the point. If you get an arborist who already has a job and paid by somebody else, and you just hire him as a contractor, you're not hiring somebody and putting him in a position to work for the city and get a nice get nice benefits,
whatever
and get
gets
a
us
cushy
to
government
save
job.
the trees.
You're missing the point of all this, Mickey.
You mean just a consultant?
I mean, why would you privatize services? I mean,
No, there's no fun in that.
you hear about all these complaints about, well, the schools aren't being maintained, the janitors aren't cleaning them overnight, and this and that. What are we like? Well, privatize it.
Oh God, imagine
You might
that.
save a few bucks. You'll at least save on health insurance, which we're told is the growing driver of costs.
It's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot easier to switch subcontractors than it is to fire people.
Yeah, and
That's true.
Here's the problem, though. Some of those subcontractors don't live in Lowell, and their relatives don't live in Lowell.
They
And
don't vote.
every first
Every
Tuesday
customer.
in November, that can sometimes, you cost enough of them their jobs, you end up losing yours.
Well, when only 500 people vote, every vote counts.
We should have more voting in the city.
There'll be 510 because all the janitors
Yeah, they
families will come out and vote. All right, Mick, you've been doing a deep dive into the Markley Group. What's this, or at least to data centers and AI?
So this kind of is an offshoot of the front runner city stuff. Like it is definitely beneficial to have
A data center.
like I'm not saying that, but I think the attitude should also be like Lowell, like the data center needs Lowell as a place to be just as much or possibly more than Lowell like needs this.
Does it?
They can go anywhere they want.
Could the Markley Group?
No, they already built. They have already built the infrastructure here.
Sure, but they need to expand.
They
And as Bill Samaras,
we would allow them to expand.
right, but they need to expand. So as Bill Samaras
They
said,
need to expand. Like any
Right.
business that
Correct.
makes money
So-
is going to make more money.
so
from an
as
expansion.
Lowellians and as Lowell's government, we can encourage them to expand where they are in Lowell, or we could tell them no. And then they'll say, okay, well, now we got to build this expanded facility in Dracut, Billerica, Chelmsford, pick any community, or outside, go to New Hampshire, and we'll build it there. And then 10, 15, 20 years from now, there's like, you know what? We need to keep expanding in New Hampshire. Why don't we just expand all the way in New Hampshire, shut down Lowell? Which is what
you
the
would
mills do,
strand-
which is what a lot of these industries
Yeah,
do.
they
They have been. So why wouldn't you want them to consolidate operations from somewhere else into Lowell versus opening the door for them to leave Lowell?
Well, there's going to be more data centers everywhere.
Correct.
Period. So what they're doing is they're using their existing footprint, their existing area, and just expanding more into that by adding more of these diesel generators, which are a backup source. So having more backup source, more backup capacity allows them to have more data store, like expand like who they're able to serve their customer base, right? The problem is these diesel generators are affecting the neighbors, and then also like the cooling the cooling towers are affecting the neighbors with the noise that they generate, and like it's it's not acceptable to ignore the people that have lived in this city.
Just buy them out.
I get it.
Like if like I
wrong graphic. Oops,
like
sorry about that.
it's good for like I think Lowell should absolutely say yes to all of these amazing opportunities, but we can ask for things too. Like we can say, okay, if you want to expand and make a ton of money here, I don't know how much money they make, but I'm sure it's a lot. It's obviously enough to hire a city manager, the person that used to be city manager as your attorney, to like say all these things and make city councilor. Sorry. Yeah. But like, and to like have all the, it seemed like all the right things, all the right strings were being pulled. And there was a little bit of.
So, but they got, I think almost as many people who live near that plant in the neighborhood spoke in favor as opposed. Most of the opposition was on climate issues by people who didn't even live in it.
No, there were two yes, people that have.
But there were others who spoke
that didn't.
It was all climate and green related.
One of the neighbors lives in property that's owned by Markley.
Because they bought some of the houses.
Yeah. So he,
the neighbor will eventually.
One of the neighbors. Yeah. I think he was the only person that spoke in favor that actually lives next to the plant, and he lives in a property that's owned by Markley.
So wouldn't
a lot of the people
quality of life be more affected than, or as affected, if not more affected than
maybe he gets
else?
A break on rent. I don't know.
Maybe.
But a lot of the people that were in the room
maybe he's just telling the truth.
So his experience as a neighbor is not the lived experience of the two people. One of the guys.
Maybe the two neighbors hate Markley and it's a conspiracy against the other guy. This is a
classic issue, right? In any community that has development, industry, et cetera, versus residential, you're going to get these situations where you butt head. And clearly, you need to take into consideration the feelings of the people who live in that neighborhood, right?
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
That said, the people who bought in that neighborhood either bought recently knowing that Markley Group was already there.
No, some of them have lived in there for years and years.
And when at the time that it was a giant spaghetti factory, they didn't rezone Clark or Douglas Road in Belvedere and stick a pasta plant in there or a data center in there and completely.
No, it was already industrial.
That neighborhood is zoned industrial and has been industrial right down to the train running right down
absolutely.
to diesel trucks pulling in and out of the Prince Spaghetti factory and whatnot. These neighbors, if you didn't want to live in an industrial zone, you needed to move out. You have to anticipate that at some point people are going to redevelop that land into another industrial use.
It's different to live next to a bunch of diesel trucks going in and out of a spaghetti plant than have 72,000 gallons of diesel stored next to your house. And then you run it every month for 5 hours is what they say, but they can also run it. A lot of times these data centers will run the diesel generators during like peak times and the electric load.
Because they need
to lower their electric bill. And when that happens, there is particulate matter that gets spewed into the air next to people's houses. So it's very different to live next to one industrial use than this data center. And data centers are, fairly new is when it comes
I think they're cleaner than the old factories.
When it comes to this size. No.
They're not?
But the diesel generators running for 5 hours a month at least.
Weren't there smokestacks out there beforehand?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but
I don't know what the. I don't know what
was the
how
pasta factory emitting into the. I mean, did we measure it then? And here's my thing. So my hunch is these same neighbors. Let's say that we zone that, we get rid of the industrial thing there. It's going to become a giant residential complex. I'm going to start complaining about traffic.
so that's never going to happen. But what I'm saying is like,
So, in other words, they're not, I don't, no matter what, there's just certain subset of people that just aren't going to be happy because it's in their neighborhood, and it brings up the classic NIMBY argument. We love data center. We need a data center because I bet if your cable went out and you couldn't work from home or watch your TV shows for 26 hours or whatever, you're probably glad that the Markley Group creates this backup to store your data and keep your fire and police active in a time of an electric outage and whatnot. There's a certain sacrifice to that.
But they're making a lot of money at that data center. It will cost them money to resolve the issue with the noise at the cooling towers. It will cost them money to do. They need to be good neighbors. And I think that Lowell is in a position to ask that and demand that of them and set rules.
Well, see, but didn't you tell me that?
Demand it?
No, they cannot approve the additional expansion.
But it's been approved.
But they're going to come back in 3 to 5 months to ask for more.
But weren't you guys talking about?
It'll get approved then too.
Well, in the meantime, they need to be better neighbors and resolve these issues.
But weren't you guys just asking for them to talk with the Sustainability Council?
To talk with the sustainability director and see, are there things that they could do? Could they instead of more diesel generators, could they have either like a flexible battery backup? Could they put solar on the roof?
That was answered. It can't be met. They can't meet the demands currently.
They can. There's other data centers that are using battery as backup instead of.
Where are they located?
There's a bunch in. So the highest amount of build for data centers right now is Virginia because it's close to government stuff. But they're building one. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's a company called Veris, and they're building a much more flexible, much more efficient model for a data center that's run on battery storage. So
this battle's going to continue to play out. I just feel that it's going to get the neighbors are going to lose these issues. The ones who are opposed.
They shouldn't because it's not. Forward. They're not asking for a lot. They're supposed to make a repair. Like it's noise issues. They're not asking for a lot. There are things that this data center can do to be a better neighbor, and I think Lowell shouldn't just be like, yes, we love the data center. We can't say no.
It shouldn't be all or nothing.
You can push for that, but there came a time where they had to take a yes or no vote. And all these, if you vote no, now you're causing a problem. Because yes, should they continue to work to alleviate noise issues and safety concerns? 100%.
You need to incentivize them to do that by saying, we're not going to approve the next one, which is what I think Councilor Janess said that. He said, we're not going to approve the next one unless you show some movement here on these issues that we're asking about.
Well, the folks have said they've shown movement. They've done a lot of things.
I don't think so.
But so what the neighbors are asking for, I 100% legit. I think what the Mass 350 folks and that crowd was asking for, your sustainability folks make, I think it was unreasonable. And if Lowell City Council shoots down anything that would help Markley expand its service over the sustainability concerns, they will regress where the world is going. Look around you. Look at Link. Look at Frontrunner City. Data centers are central to all of these things.
Which is
Lowell needs to have it.
If we vote no, it's not the data center is not going to pack up and go. That's like tens and millions of thousands.
If you vote no, they can't do what they need to in the time frame that they need to
expand.
Correct.
So that's
which means that they can't meet the demand that they need, so they have to go elsewhere to meet, or their clients have to go elsewhere to meet that demand.
It's their decision to take on more clients. It's their decision. It's their business decision to take on more clients. That will pay more. So they're going to make more money on the backs of not investing in
so if they
things
don't
that
make
alleviate
that money,
the concerns
some
of the
other
neighbors.
data center will.
Fine.
And so Markley will now become less profitable, and doing business in Lowell becomes less profitable. Just like making cotton was less profitable in Lowell than it was in North Carolina. And you saw miles and miles of mills shut down because Lowell, for whatever reason, couldn't economically sustain them anymore.
But that's not going to take away from Lowell's bottom line. They pay a property tax. They don't pay anything on
Prince
their...
Spaghetti used to pay a property tax there too.
But they have a tax break over 20 years, $77 million, that they're not paying taxes on
They're
their
10 years into it,
property.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're gonna let's
how does
do
that take
everything
away
let's
Lowell's
do everything-
bottom?
Let's do everything we can to chase them out.
They're not leaving,
So that they
Teddy.
leave
They're
before
not
the
going to
program-
leave.
think
They've
they will
already
leave.
built.
They will at some point.
they can't
If
expand.
you don't let them
No, they'll
expand to
build-
meet the demand of their clients, they're going to leave. If
No,
they-
they're going to continue operations as it is now. They'll continue operations. It's not like
leave.
No,
There's an
that's-
economy of scale. They'd have to leave. They take the equipment
yeah.
with them.
they're running just fine.
They'll build another. They'll build
No.
another data center to meet their growing demand.
They're
and
going
their
to
new
build
clients
another data
somewhere
center.
else.
They're going to build another
Right.
data center anyway, somewhere else. They have one in Boston. They have one in Lowell.
Yeah.
They will keep the one in Lowell. If they,
The history of this city tells you that when something does
different-
not be, when you're not getting an ROI, to use a front runner city discussion, when you're not getting the return on your investment, you pack up and go
no,
somewhere.
that
where
would be
you do.
that would be like knocking down a house that you've built just because you're not able to build an addition. No, you're still
No,
going to
you're
make.
not knocking it down.
You're still gonna
you're
make-
shutting it down, and you're going somewhere else. If you need to, if you're a family of two, you get married, you live in your house.
Yeah.
Now 3 kids come instead of the 1, and you need extra bedrooms. If you're not allowed to build that addition on your house, what are you doing, Mick?
That's a different.
You're leaving. You're
That's
going
a different
somewhere
metaphor.
else.
No,
If
that's a
couldn't
different
If they
metaphor.
couldn't expand, they'd go somewhere else. They'd take all that equipment with them and build a bigger spot.
No, because the location is part of the value. Being located here, adjacent to where Boston is part of the value.
Right, but
The
if they went to
location of
Pelham,
the-
they'd be.
What if they went to Chelmsford, Drake it,
They'd have to.
Nashua?
I am fundamentally disagreeing with you guys on this reasoning.
All right.
I think the Green folks are gonna end up barking up I think they're gonna lose that vote again in the fall.
I will say-
if it's about environmental stuff versus
It's not-
noise and quality of life issues.
Well, no, it's about the noise and quality of life issues also. Like
those
that's-
can get
They
fixed.
could cooperate a little bit.
then they should fix.
Yeah, they could. Those.
Yeah.
They should fix them. It's been like 10 months and they haven't fixed the noise for this, like for these neighbors. Like that's not. They're not acting like good neighbors.
I would just buy. If I were Markley, I'd buy the neighbors out.
They offered well above market, and one of the guys didn't take it.
There's always a price.
One of the people. Yeah.
There's always a price.
Could just eminent domain it.
Oh my God, Batch.
All right. Before we go, because Batch does have to go, we need a Honduras hug. Let's end on a positive. We started on a
I
positive
know. I don't feel very
with
positive
Front
right
Runner
now.
City. Let's end on a positive note. Let's get a hug.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. I was positive earlier and now I'm not. So, my Honduras hug is just trust yourself. Try to stick to your guns. Trust yourself. You know, it's okay to admit if you're wrong sometimes, but sometimes when you have a feeling about something, you know, trust that, you know, like Lowell and this beautiful Front Runner City project, like it seems like a lot of these like pieces are falling into place because like a lot of really good actions were taken. And sometimes you have, you know, hurdles and stuff, but just keep trusting yourself and like things will happen as they should. And
Intuition?
yeah.
Okay.
But make sure you document all these minutes.
Yes.
Take
Accurately.
accurate minutes.
I
Take
hope somebody
accurate
took accurate minutes at all these events where multiple city councilors were, because you're right. It was a quorum. I hope they didn't have any discussions about policy.
Oh my God.
That's why we love you. Mike Batchagalupo Batch, Michaela Honduras McCarthy, the hyphen, the Pod Squad. Thanks,
Yes.
guys.
Thank
It's been
you.
a blast.
Thank you.
Thank all of you for joining us as well here on the Daily Pulse. We got a big week of guests next week. Greg Pappas on Monday. Jerry Nutter
Nice.
on Tuesday. Wednesday, City Manager Tom Golden will join us. We'll get his take on this Front Runner City thing. Thursday, I got some special guests for you. Do you remember the Sullivans? Billy Sullivan, owner of the New England Patriots?
Yeah.
Remember his son Pat, the general manager
No
of the
way.
Patriots? Pat Sullivan is coming in here. There is a connection to the Sullivan family and Bucky Lou. The first
really?
black professional basketball player from Lowell.
Can you please ask him about the fight at the
I know
playoff
you
game?
bet
with
your
the-
freaking ass.
Was that Matt Millen? Right?
Matt Millen.
Oh, no, was it Howie Long?
Or Matt Millen
Yeah.
clubbed him over the head with a helmet.
Still one of my favorite moments in sports.
Pat Sullivan will be sitting in here in this studio.
Make sure there's also the connection between the Sullivans and the
Sullivan Brothers Printing.
but the Rooneys too.
Oh, out in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, like I know there's a lot of there's connections. I don't know if it's like family, friends, whatever, but there's connections between the Rooneys and the Sullivans.
I'm also going to ask him what he thought of his brother Chuck, thinking he was a concert promoter and basically costing the family the football team.
Moonwalking into bankruptcy.
He wanted to put on the Michael Jackson tour. So anyway, big week next week.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yes, it is. And Leslie Boder will be here to wrap up the week on Friday. Everybody, have yourself a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, stay cool, and we will catch you on the other side.